Hello, welcome to the latest episode of Driving with Dan, episode 15. Today is the 1st of March, so yes, we've made it through January and February so far this year. We're already in March, which is amazing. Yes, I'm not driving, I'm at home. That's because at the moment it's snowing in the UK, and that just leads to disaster on the roads, so I haven't even attempted to drive today. Right, so yes, the first topic is Grand Tour, then there's Top Gear. Then there's a story from America about Fiat Chrysler. Then Car Throttle's latest-ish videos. And then a bit of a topic that we can talk about at the end. Right, fantastic. So yes, the first topic then, Grand Tour. So last week I forgot to mention about Grand Tour and the final episode of the season. So that came out, and it's 2 weeks ago now. And I wasn't very happy with it. I thought it was a bit of a repetitive episode. It was a bit dull. Wasn't very fun. I think, because I don't know if you've seen the trailers or anything. So essentially what happens is they go to Mozambique. And they talk about this village that's about 3 hours away from the sea. And they say how the only food they have to survive really is sort of just stuff that you can grow in a field. So it's only wheat and things like that. And they're saying, well, they really want to make their foods more interesting and give them more. So they're like, well, what we should be able to do, because it's only 3 hours from the sea, is transport the fish from this thriving city that there is down by the sea and actually bring it to everyone across Mozambique. And you're like, okay, yeah, that's a fantastic idea. But it's Clarkson, Hellman and May. So, of course, they have to mess it up. And that was a bit rubbish. So throughout this whole, it was an hour episode, they're just there with a load of fish, and then, they just go and waste it. So the whole point is they're trying to say that, I don't know, they were trying to almost do, say, charity work and stuff, but they weren't able to do it. But it was a poor episode. I didn't laugh once, there was nothing fun in it. And they just sort of made up this point and then just didn't stick with it. They went completely off in a different direction and said, but we can just throw all this away, it's fine. Which was really, really bad. So they make this real true point and then don't make a positive ending. It was like, really? So, yeah, I wasn't very happy with that. And as a finale for the Grand Tour, I think it summed it up pretty well. I think it was okay overall. They had some good moments in it. But that as the aftertaste of the Grand Tour, yeah, no, not happy. But in good news is Top Gear this week have got their new series. So it just started last Sunday. It's on BBC Two at 8 o'clock, as it always has been. And that's, of course, with Matt LeBlanc, Chris Harris, and Rory Reid. And, oh my God. So episode 1 came out last week. And that is polar opposite to Grand Tour. Everything is really positive. It was a really, really nice, refreshing, but also car-based show. Where they're definitely talking about just so the episode was about V8s and saying how it's the best engine you can get, it's the best all-round package. So they had the Ford Mustang GT350R, but it was the Hennessy edition, so it made 800 brake horsepower. Rory had the Jaguar F-Type SVR, and Chris Harris had the McLaren 570 GT, and all of them lovely cars. And they're over in Utah, it was. And they just had this fantastic episode full of great ideas throughout. So I had a few different challenges and stuff, and one of them was like a drag race, but essentially it's a Wild West draw as well. So they're driving away from each other very slowly, and then when it says draw, they have to turn around and race back to the line. It was so engaging. Like, why has that never been thought of before? It was really, really cool. And of course the Jag won, because Jags just rule. No, they're all-wheel drive and it's off-road, so that's really why it won. Yeah, so that was just polar opposites to the Grand Tour, and for the best reasons. It was just fantastic. So I don't know how many episodes they're doing this season, but it's going to be at least another 2 months or something of Top Gear, which is lovely. So that should see us throughout the winter with more Top Gear, which is great. So the next topic then is Fiat Chrysler. and it's about the head designer of the at Fiat Chrysler, which is his name is Ralph Giles. I'm not sure. But basically, he witnessed the other day, well, probably a few weeks ago now. He just sort of happened to be driving along, and he came across an accident. So he saw that there was I think it was 3 cars involved in a bit of a pile-up, and essentially he suddenly realised that he needed help, and he was the first on the scene. And he noticed that the 2 of the cars had collided, and actually there was fuel and then fire. And he noticed that there were people trapped inside one of the cars. So he was then driving a Jeep, rather handily, I think it was a Wrangler. So he was able to push the car away from the car that was on fire and empty. So then the people inside, he could then have time to get them out and sort of save them, really. So he was just saying that it was just so lucky that he was there with his car to be able to push everyone to safety, essentially, from this burning car. And I think, sadly, one of the people in this accident did pass away. But it could have been far worse as well if he hadn't helped with the situation. So, yeah, I think that's a positive note for Fiat Chrysler, saying that their team is just so fantastic, that the head designer and actually is helping to get involved in sort of helping this situation instead of just driving past it. So, yeah, that was good to hear that. It's actually a nice, well, not a nice bit of news, but to see that someone is getting involved, which is really good. Right, so yeah, the next topic, car Throttle. And they've got a new series, and so usually they do these sort of cheap project cars, and they modify them to do a certain task. So I think last time it was the Lexus IS 200? Last time it was just the Lexus. And when they tried to make a track car go as fast as modern supercars sports cars for way less. But this time they want an off-roader, and they've started with the Jaguar X-Type, and I think that's a fantastic place to start. So they bought it for only £400, I think just shy of £500. And of course they think this because the X-Type is all-wheel drive, and they think, well, why not make it an off-roader? Because they've already they've already done 2 episodes so far. Big suspension lift. They're doing snorkel, off-road tyres. Yeah, no, it looks like quite a fun project, and because it's V6, they've done a straight pipe, and it sounds amazing. So yeah, I think I'm really, really excited to see more of that and see off-road as well, because you don't really think to see a Jaguar off-road, let alone an X-Type, which is probably one of the most hated Jaguars of all time, as it's called a Mondeo. Yeah, so really, really excited to see more of that, and it's not something you see very often. Right, and on to the last topic then. And it's sort of just a bit of an idea that I had. I think, I can't even know what I was thinking, but I suddenly thought, like, if you didn't have much fuel left, but you had enough to do a journey of any distance, what would you do and what car would you take? If I had one journey left in a petrol car, but it doesn't matter how long, I'd do a massive tour around the UK in a Jaguar XKR in probably a black. That would look quite smart. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I might have to do that. That's my future goal. There we are. Right. Yes, thank you for watching this rather different, but not different, because I've already done one of these before. Driving with Dan's. I hope you agree with what I said about Grand Tour. It wasn't being too harsh, but wasn't happy with it. Rather disappointed. And, of course, go and check out Top Gear if you can. I think it's coming in America in a few weeks on BBC America. But in the UK, it's on BBC Two. And anywhere else, I have no idea how you're meant to watch it, but I'm sure it will be out on local TVs soon. Yeah. So, thank you for watching. I hope you had a lovely February, because now it's March. So, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Cheers.